Ikigiu, Gijem Kushimi, Kakam Kivimi, Kapalemi, and I got to shire, Kipimi Kijahili, Ilogolvagala, my greetings to you all. SRSU President and Paolo Mlakai Kimko, Nong Rishikim Tulani. Iplo, Adu Givi, Hili Hiputona, as a Pilropke, Iwongno, more than the gathering here this evening, it had been a blessing for me. The reason is because in a Hili Nongolo Putona Sapina Akakam Spectacular. It took me back to my school days, to my college days, and to my university's days. Ipo, ishi in a long sasa, Kasajin Shaikyu on just 4 points. I will not speak long, but I'm hopeful these 4 points I'll be able to encourage the student community. Hipo ishi student gathering kutu on ye. I'll just address the student community who are still studying, as well as those who have qualified and preparing to achieve for some success in their life. Nongo theme, sustainable future through academic integrity. Your future and our future depends on our hard work, and our sincerity, and our sincerity, that is what will determine what future holds for us. First point, what I want to share with this gathering, introspection, the concept of introspection. Introspection, I'm sure maximum 90% of this gathering here are educated young people. But I just want to repeat it once again. Introspection, to think within ourselves. Assess. We need to assess ourselves. Introspection idele but when you actually try to introspect yourself, assess yourself, it becomes a little bit difficult. Because in an introspection, society la ku shangila tikum singona pamo. Mamu new neighborhood la, mamu new school colleges la ku happen shangona tipo introspection yono ado tipo petalo pipamo ke. Kema to think within ourselves. Al think khla non kiu shang kiu kikla khan ipo kiu shin shangila tipo introspect time tipo span shilo epi pikudo. Ike hipolo in a introspection depth la nong ko la kitila understand Spain shy in you my personal experience nong association ni nong I think most of you nong in ye kyu ka ku pikele tha mo ni I did a bachelor's honors in psychology 3 years ka ku tipo pikechoy ike tipo ka ku pichekela theoretical was just 50% textbook studies. Ipo 50% depend entirely on practical exam. Ikela practical experiment, practical shikuye, psychology economo, we study human behavior. Tim luhaya ku kela, time ku kekala na kumsa chengela, kumsa puno ku kekala na mlangela tipo study chengi choy. Iku in the practical experiment shikela for 3 years I studied. Ike 3 years la every year at least 25 to 30 experiment conduct shima savaging. Ike experiment tipo yo cool conduct shine we conduct on human beings. In examination ipo sama pam ko kusupuno pano ko show experiment conduct chingi choy. Experiment subject matter economy we study on emotion, we study on personality, we study on intelligence, dito ko subject matter. Ikela hipo pano ko experiment shikela in a struggle when I was a student. Hipo practical shikela 1 point was introspection report ke choy. Ipo tipo ye in experiments tawek tau I need to introspect within myself. Iltikum sujupuno student dimhupo subject experiment chai kela pa kishi ilaw response kela pa kishi ikai kela pa kishi ithai kela o niga ina tipo experiment conduct kela ni kishi tipo ilthini kishi feel kela tipo shima saikyu hema saikyu and that introspection report I just have to write 6-7 lines, but it was very difficult for me during my student days. Long story short, joint service. Ikala Nagaland police la we had one machine, lie detector machine. Okay, ikete corner ma kapkami kimkimi na serious cases like murder, rape, murder case ko to ikala kuno tipo ek shikelam thavekala tim tipo noko suspect noko sas examine shima sa kyo avechin. Ikela akamgash Nagaland police la I was the only officer who had finished studying psychology. Ikeye tim ko to mane pipni ba. But during those time, that was in the year 2004-5. Iki iltin na pipuna IQ police department na ni CBI Delhi la pu pune plo tipo kaku pipe. 3 months I underwent that training. Idele rikek tau again. In a college days, like tipo introspection report hekure, tipo struggle shiketoe. Itaga after I completed my education and took this training, how to examine. Mika mogela panoko examination ke tipo pikapuna yervek tau tim sase ire, and I had to examine them. Ikela kunoko examine shangena kapkam kipkimi tim hakip tive kem ko examine shay suspect e birange choe. Now at the end of the day, you won't know yet that pressure was too heavy because in an examination, in a report, he's going to be acquitted or convicted. Pressure was too high, but again, I came again to that point where I have to really think, observe that person, assess my observation and write. Hippo aspect in a nong sasakasajai kuye, it is not easy to introspect within yourself. Tim tami observe shipuna paiti shan pa ushane pinguye oni ilaikine. But to think within yourself, to understand yourself, it's very difficult. It takes time. Nong ko to moye shijaram tha investing on thinking within yourself and understanding yourself. But those people who have not started, nong no hutikela you'll struggle. 5 minutes it will not take time. Adol nintipom 5 minutes no ultino kamsanya pangem akakamse hula hila chekna ikichoe. But with practice, you can achieve. For me now, I enjoy spending time with myself. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and I assess myself always on a daily basis. Introspection, not once a month, not once a year during New Year's resolution or during Christmas time, but on a day-to-day basis. The right 24 hours, which is the most productive time for yourself. Invest on yourself and think about it. During this time of introspection, point kini nongka kamslay lol nini. It is my experience. I hope it might be helpful to you all also. Nono ulti diligently, sincerely, then you will realize what are your weaknesses and what are your strengths. What are your gifts? What are your talents? No you will be able to groom yourself to move ahead, to progress. Second point, noni introspection, you will be able to find is it in line with your strengths, your talents or gifts? Your aim in life, is it set in accordance to what you have in you, or has it been conditioned by the society, by the community, by your near and dear ones? Nowadays, I was also a student. I was also wanting to achieve once upon a time. That was 25 years back. During those days, kaku people na NPS pas masa, UPSC la solo pipire. Thank God, alone kemas apni plo tipo achieve shulpeke, and that was what God meant me to be. In this present world, NPSC, UPSC, NSSB, that is not the only profession. Profession ajeli berkawai. You look within yourself, of gift, of talent, no kulon alo angela, tipo kiklan of emi target chulmasakyu. Tim no of la Q pe am. Tim na Q ning lao encourage sagam. Pano ya alo kela no ning la encourage an. Ipu ning wit tipo kakam sona khan. But if you are not meant to be, if you do not have that skill and talents to be an achiever in the administrative line or in any other competitive examination, but maybe you are meant to be something which God has given you in. Point kini no introspection no reflect into shikela these two main parts. But second point is the most important. You have to realize, aim, target, kukamsiye, kuchonong it's aligned with the gift or talents, or has it been reinforced, conditioned in your mind by the society, by the community? You should know that. That is very important. Second point which I want to discuss with you all about is be grounded, be rooted, be humble, and be a lifelong learner. Humbleness, groundedness, rootedness, yeah, ajili aspect la nanyungwa dipo discuss shulnini. Ikema this evening in a humbleness to be rooted and to be grounded in regard to you in your academic life. Academic life la you have to remain humble. You have to learn how to be grounded and rooted. The more you learn, there's a saying and there's a belief. The more we learn, the more we know, you have to realize that there is so many things that we need to know more. If you have that mindset, then you are humble, you're grounded, and you're rooted. Over achievement, over degree, over qualification, ko pesa, ni keno ka in Hindi sauna itim ko le pichinge ham kisi se kam nahi epikyu. That is the time. Oh certificate, oh degree, oh qualification, ko pesa he ne she yipoye pal tawa ina keno inak chupi thiwa keno tipo. That thought is the stepping stone for your downfall. I want you to continue learning. The moment you start having that mindset that netawa, ne shulwa, inay tanyak chupu, tipo no o downfall shvechinge. Hipo in a topic hipo in a hike time. I remembered one of my incident. It's not a success story. Movie because movie realize, and that time no one was there to tell me, but tonight I'm going to tell you students so that you will not face such situation in life. Police service join Shvegala, I'm sure all of you know, we go to Northeast Police Academy Barapani for 1 year training. It was very difficult. In short, besides all the physical training, every Saturday, kilometer cherubo masake joy. Tipo no ka oni mekjo. It here tipo ko rilikam sa pa ka angarelese. Ipo tipo kilometer cherubo kuya ike dolo te khalim kona sports gear, running shoe. It was not like that. Full combat uniform with arms, water bottle, filled with water, and no running shoes, ammunition boots. Long story short here again. Training tawa, idelerwa. I patted myself on my shoulder. I need a break. I need a break. I took a break. Rest masake. Nitoikyo am dije ampelake tish training luveke. I think I deserve maybe 1 month break, 1 month rest. But then my 1 month rest, rest availability, it went on for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. I rested too much. Now I look back, I had to pay back in a Chile rest civic wrong no. Ikiti wrong no in here example by to all the achievers here tonight and those people who are yet to achieve what you aim. Pat yourself when you achieve success, but not more than 1 day. Every day is a learning process for us. As a laking no allow ye chile no celebrate mshake, all no pat mshake, but you have to continue learning. In hipolo itaga you professional life whenever I go and meet my subordinates and I observe something. Te in a ku observe shulku ye nong ko nakchupi thagani Nagaland police la constable rank la constabulary rank they comprises maybe 80% of our police government employees. Ikela problem hili lo ve ku in observe shulku ye constable rank le iloing ki no over educational criteria ye class 8. Class 8 ipo high limit ye khai ki choy. So a graduate can enter, a doctor can enter, engineer, highly educated. Nagaland laga no employment problem shiviku class 8 pikem ko iloven or highest education palikim ko financially independent masachku panoko ilogo namlajin. Ikela hili I observed 2 types of people here. Class 8 pass sikem ko kaku pimoikem ko. Some of them, they join service and they motivate themselves. Neko to me pimoge, neko to mo kaku pimovege ne kukushimo in ilonum like la amlot san kushkal masa kuiti masa galam line. Ditugu kukumsai kem ko itulching. But again, there's another group of people, class 8 pass. Ne kaku pimoge in a kuitainam palok to veka akla atai nitsainge katina ilokonopi. Ikala hitu 2 groups of class 8 pass koni ilokela ye. Kono nepimoge kemo nekukum kukela kim shkalma sapsakyu nie kono sincere shi kakoye netim to amokem akumlala ye ne shimasa nepku. Tipono kono they are an asset to our department. But those class 8 pass who class 8 pass kuna akumla palva ona mahava but they have that inferiority complex. Ini kaku pimoyo ka kaku kipimi hijainge ni nakushulingya inatikupilinga puno they become a liability to our department. Kulom pana petam lavekyu tishi itla jenge get no. The same with even qualified people, graduate, postgraduate, they enter. Ipuno postgraduate, graduate. Some of them they come with that optimism. Hippo akamna palkilona in a QQ shkaulgela, I'll give them maximum out of it. But there's another group of those educated people. He constable kumlaye class tachem kona shangi in a kuhili kishai kipangana superiority complex and they stop learning. Because as I told you, life, it's a lifelong learner. We have to learn. Student but you have to continue learning. Education begins the moment you're born until the day you die. It continues. Iku tipo asahi laki kini experience in observation nong sasuksa jalwani. Ipo kipimi hili kije lo langela in a non encourage kuye. Ning tekella ye ning nakaku picheke time ye. We just had a textbook. Teachers kona ning shikagyu ka tipo dolti. Confusion irwa. Teacher makichim kola on. Nye tipo lo bujamo wakiti kuika piku time. Whereas young students here, younger lot, modern world la nong na ka pai kyu you're so blessed. You can buy books from anywhere in the world online, very cheap. Nuna tipoge online na books lang mo pa. You have the reading app Kindle where you can get it. You have your Google Guru. Confusion, you go to Google, you get it cleared. Like, mom, social media platforms, you have so many where you can learn. Online courses are there, but you have to assess. You have to know your digit screen time. You should know when to stop and when to start. So that is the point which I wanted to share with you in regard to my second point, that is, be grounded, be humble, be rooted, and be a lifelong learner. The moment you stop learning, that is the time you will be a downfall. Ipo ulti no downfall you mo community society where you live in, you'll become a liability to them. I want all of you to know of that. The third point, it's a very hippo point here, debatable, yes, but, and maybe some of you will say, hippo point in a so third point long it's better to be in a platform in adult man and woman group. For me, the reason why I want to share this point to this gathering is because I want to catch all of you young, catch them when young. The reason is because when you're young, you have the scope to learn and hone as many skill and talents you have. Hippo point here, and this is in regard to be a progressive man and woman in your community, in your society. Now, what do I mean, be a progressive man and woman? This is in relation to the gender-based roles that we are assigned to do. Socially, culturally, even at the family level, we are conditioned. Totim kamlahi, kiptim kamlahi, pinyung condition shiva puno irrevi tipo kiklaningo khirva. Before I go deep into this topic, I'll give you an example. Iwo Nagaland Police, my 20 plus years of service, I came across a group of people from a particular village, near Tipo village, from a particular village, unfortunately not Sumi village. Ike Tipo village la, I came across 5 people. These 5 people, police department lani, they spread over the highest rank also. Some of them retired as IGP. Some of them retired as SP also. Some of them constable rank and NC rank also. But all 5 of them from the same village. Panokovo performance in professional life, top notch. In a scale of 10, I give them 10. Now, in a kukalaki common point, panang ko lao no observe sulguye. Yung ko police department, every now and then we have ceremonial programs, okay? And in these ceremonial programs, we have to lay out top-notch refreshment also. Ike tipo ko wong na meeting shima saikyu. Hipono pung refreshment la kyu kikala na preparation kalaga kyu item na kyu gola milinin nyung kong totim na lo pano ko na lo city. To the extent piyaj onion la piyaj salad te khabole laga piyaj tu round noy gana chapta hobol lage tirin yir pano lao no shikalu. Few examples I'm stating. So in a hippo observe shulkuye, these people keep timiko, all of them. They are very good in the professional life, and police department is a male-oriented profession. But they are good in feminine roles also. to tim kumla la in la la panoko na lo shi tang in depth itani ike tipo lo ne in shilti ni kum subni in observe shil kye ipo panoko la no observe shil kyo I see it here and there randomly. A person who is aware of both masculine and feminine roles. Kiptim kumlaga, totim kumlaga, itari kem kono. This seems to be doing exceedingly well. One point which I wanted to share. Another point, and these 2 points, I'll talk about Nyumko Sulimi, totim like she's a doctor now. She studied in Delhi Medical College, where more than 500 plus students were there. Tipo hostel totim quality kyu electrical ko panoko fuse ko alomo paye. In that hostel, they'll start calling for this girl who belongs to Sumi community. Paji kuning ke choy, pa kila chinga, pa kupuna pana sasu puna pana mlavesni electrical gadgets ko. To the extent that she started having electrical toolkit awe. Iput timna ko paya ka tipa la ati upana ko electrical alomo va ki plom la pen ko ngena pana pau toolkit pesa ka la olono she was. So, and she's an excellent doctor professionally. So initially you should not be limited to just your feminine skills, but yes, masculine task, feminine task here. There's one thing which we women cannot, and that is in regard to physical strength. The hormonal balance in a man's body and woman differs. So physical strength, but besides that, masculine roles, electrical, carpentry, driving, this and that, all not. Tipoko ye nyungko develop shul masa. The last example, longko chulverani ni the baker Pito. How many of you know Pito, the baker, Dimapur la? A very famous baker, Dimapur la khichin. Nagaland la pawu baking items, Christmas la shalo, New Year's la shalo, Klakupulo shalo, pawu baking items, top notch, and it is at the highest amount. Now, baking, cooking, that's a feminine task. But when I always appreciate the mother and the father. The parents encouraged her. And now, I'm telling you, he must be, bank balance crore, he's in such a huge demand. So we are living in this modern world where masculine, feminine role, inferior, superior, complex, whatever comes your way, I want all of you to go all out and go on that. At the end of the day, once go all out. When you assess yourself and you know you are good at it, go all out. Do not be affected by what other people are telling you or what the society expects you to do or the community expects you as a woman to do it or you as a man to be doing it. No. But if you have the skill, go ahead. How will you prove it to them? How will you prove it to them that they were wrong? Once, skill, talent, groom, build up. Once you're financially dependent, once you're financially independent, skill tipo groom, financially independent, all the naysayers will just surrender to you. So this is the third point which I want to discuss with you. Last but not the least. Above all, have unshakable belief in that unforeseen force. Alho no akhihining mas pasange alho pukho and alho guidance, by wisdom learner, we will be able to achieve what He has gifted us with. When I look back and when I think, this point, it is a 50-50 partnership. Partnership 50-50. Ina thashin, alona thashning. Ikan ina akchupu shivenip gete shulamo, downfall. Mam, alona ikimenge, ikimas ninge kwa, ina ko ngovegala, even your partner will not move. Okay, so this is one point which I really wanted to share with you. And the most exciting part of this 50-50 partnership with God, I experienced in my life. I'm sure some of you must have experienced, and those who have not experienced, I want you to keep this in mind. This 50-50 partnership, the beauty of this 50-50 partnership is 50% alhono shinkyu ye, it's already there, already ready. He is just ready to give it to us. Dispatch na ready but He's waiting for us. 50% in a shinkyu no shinkyu tipo kan ye. Igala tipo kaya igala nyung khla kan le pa kakama kalven kan la adolven new aim, new target achieve shimlavichin kan le pa shulven. The reason is because of that 50% which we have to give it in. Point lakinam to mona kektolo in a hard work shamo, in sincerity shimo, in a shima sakyu shimo kektolo. Eka paya 49.9 shivakeka svenya. I observed that is not the system here in 50-50 partnership with God. No, she oka 50 toki dollar not tipo kepuna 50 no 50 or 50% she becomes that 50% which is ready to give you, you'll get it. But again, over 50% kamla shinkula no na 50.1, 51, 52 shivala. Tipo it delays your achievement and success. You know why? Because when we do 51, 52, ima koye ne 50% shingo shagem ina shulpuna 51, 52 shivala. I had become a little bit too overconfident. Ina shulainge, ina pilainge, ina shulningana pikelana. God does not want us to have that. He loves us so much. He does not want us to develop that overconfidence, that pride in us. So He wait again. No, you have to come down to 50. Then I'll do my part. That is what God does here. So above all, have faith. Ipo, last, in a point, introspection. Think within yourself. Assess yourself. Tipo point la 50-50 partnership is very important. Nona introspection, nona kumsu okakumsu puilo gela, nona no ultimo assess sha gela. 50% you do it, and 50% you leave it for God to guide you, to lead you, to speak to you. Kurono no introspection puno ultimo na 100%. We face much downfall. So with these few words, I take my time. I wish this gathering a fruitful annual session. May the blessing of God, the glory of God be poured upon this gathering in abundance. And with this abundant blessing, I want all of you, with those blessings, I want all of you to remain grounded, to remain humble, to be rooted so that you can be a tool, a channel to glorify God. Dangerous part here is when you start self-glorifying yourself with all this blessing, that is when your downfall comes. Once again, best wishes for your annual session too. But more so, much success, much achievements in all your future endeavors. Thank you so much. Nong shikim tewa.